So this controller will spoil you once you use it. This is the Backbone 1, and it's one of my favorite controllers out because they really nailed the hardware and the software. And so this is the PlayStation branded version of the Backbone 1. They still do sell their regular version, which the main difference is obviously outside of the PlayStation branding is going to be this PlayStation white that you have here. So it's the same kind of white that's on the PlayStation 5. And then also on the back, you will see the PlayStation logo. So when you go to extend the controller to put a phone in, you'll see that logo on the back versus on the regular edition, you just have the Backbone logo there. And yes, these controllers are very greasy because I actually do use them a lot. But outside of those things, the other major difference is going to be the button layout. So basically on the PlayStation, you have the triangle, circle, X, and square buttons, where on the regular Backbone controller, you are just going to be finding the A, B, X, Y buttons there. So these are going to be very familiar, especially for Xbox players, but the buttons still act and function the same way in all the games that you will be playing on them. And so yeah, don't be confused by the PlayStation branding on this. You can still use Xbox Cloud Gaming or really anything else to be able to play games on this. And so also inside of the box, pretty much everything is the same as the regular version. You get this little card that shows you how to put the phone in the controller, where you want to put it in on the left side first and then slide it into the lightning connector. Oh, and there is something new inside of the box that didn't come in the box for my regular version when I got it like a year and a half ago. And this is going to be this little adapter that's going to be able to allow the iPhone 13 Pro, the 13 Pro Max, and also the iPhone 14 Pro and 14 Pro Max phones to fit inside of this controller with no issues. And the reason they made this is because the camera modules on these Pro phones are just really big, so they interfered with the original designs, and it snaps on very easily. And now I can take my iPhone 14 Pro here, put it in on the left-hand side, and then slide it out a little bit, and then now I can place the lightning connector right into it with no problem. And on the bottom of the controller, you will find a lightning port, and this is only going to be used for pass-through charging, so you can use your phone while you are charging it. And then you also find a headphone port, which you don't find that often, so 3.5 millimeter headphone port right here as well. Now, once you're ready to start using the controller, you need to download the Backbone app, and this will allow you to go ahead and go through the setup process. It will show you some of the features and what all the buttons do on this controller. Like you do have this dedicated orange button here, which kind of looks like the orange strap here for my Apple Watch Ultra. But yeah, you press on this and this will automatically launch the Backbone app. And then also you have this button here that will bring up like this menu system on the left-hand side. And then also you do have this screen capture button here that you can set to record the last 15 seconds of gameplay. So that's usually how I like to use it. After I get like a really cool sequence of kills or something in Call of Duty, I can press on that button and it will just record that last action that I did. But you can also still do the default way where you just press on it and it will ask for your confirmation to start a screen recording and just record until you run out of storage. And then you can find your photos and screen recordings inside of the Backbone app. So it will show you your videos, and also if you do take some photos as well, and also some of your highlights are going to be some short videos that you can quickly share with people, and you can go ahead and make those highlights inside of this app. And the only issue I've had with the software is that a couple of times when I am doing screen recordings or I'm trying to start one, it would freeze up, and then I would have to close out the Backbone app in order to be able to go back into the game and start the screen recording again. Now, again, that's only happened a couple of times, but that does bring up a good point about this controller needing the Backbone app to work, and it's kind of like the middleman between the games and also your iPhone. And so yeah, this is not a major issue. It's only happened a couple of times, but I just wanted to point that out, and maybe it might be like an iOS 16 bug, who knows, but hopefully they'll get that fixed in the future. But overall, I really like how slick this app is. So you have this kind of menu over here where you can look at your photos, you can access the settings, and also you can join different rooms for particular games that people have started. So if you want to talk to someone about Call of Duty, you can join that room and have a voice conversation with them. You can create your own room. You can start a party with some of your friends, and it'll show some people down here that you might know, and you can add them as friends. But then also you'll be able to see your different chats that you might be having with other people in chat rooms or anything that you start with yourself. Now, one of my favorite parts about this app is how well it does organize the different games and gaming apps that I have on my phone. And if you're not seeing one of your apps showing up here, when you are in the app, you can just press on the Backbone button, and then now you'll find that in this home screen. But also you can discover new games, right? So they do a really good job at showing you different games and stuff from all different platforms, whether it is the Xbox app or Steam or anything else. It will show these games in here that you might want to play, and I just really love how slick this is. But when I am ready to game, I can go ahead and launch the game from this app. Just just by tapping on it. Or if I'm in the game and I want to go back to the Backbone app, I can also just press this Backbone button and I can swap between the two. But now let me get to just the experience of using this controller with a lot of different games. So one, I think Backbone has done an excellent job at the ergonomics, right? So on the back of the controller, you don't really find a big hump back here, but when I do hold it, my fingers just rest very nicely on the back here. So that's nicely done. But then also the thumbsticks are very nicely positioned. Now I still find myself on the right thumbstick, kind of using the middle part of my thumb here, which isn't bad, but I do like to use my fingertip or my thumb tip when I am playing games, similar to my experience here using like the Xbox controller, where when I put my thumbs on here, things are in the right location when I am gaming. But it's not bad. It is better than some other controllers, but that is one thing. But other than that, the buttons feel really good when I'm pressing down on them. They're very nicely positioned. But then also the triggers feel really good as far as the actual function of pressing down on the triggers. My only issue is that they do feel really close to the shoulder buttons, and it's a little bit of a separation there, but I would like a little bit more of a defined kind of separation between the two. But I do like how quieter the shoulder buttons and the triggers are compared to other gaming controllers, which are very clicky. They're very loud, especially if you're trying to play and someone's sleeping next to you. But take a listen to how these sound. Not bad. Oh, and one other important note is that you don't need to do anything extra to get popular games like Call of Duty and Apex Legends to work with this controller. So you can see when I go to multiplayer in Call of Duty, it tells me that I do have an external device connected, and now I can game with this controller with no problems. Some other gaming controllers will require you to have to personally map each button onto the on-screen controls. You don't need to do that with this one. All right, so I got a game of Call of Duty Mobile loaded up here, one of my favorite games to play, probably my favorite game to play outside of Apex Legends, which is really good too. But yeah, the controls are very responsive. You don't really have that much latency at all because of the direct connection with the lightning connector. So when I am jumping up and down like this, oh, you got me killed, YouTube. I'm joking. But yeah, when I am jumping up and down here and doing some slide, everything works very, very well. Let me call my dog out. Where my dog's at? Take out that turret. Hopefully that works. But yeah, the most important thing when it comes to first-person shooters is just going to be how these triggers feel. They feel really, really nice, very responsive. They don't feel mushy, the right amount of tension to them. When I squeeze them, I feel very confident in taking out my enemies like you see here. But now let me load up Apex Legends. So I just hit the Backbone button there. Let me tap on Apex Legends. And boom, there we go. So if you also are wondering about remapping the buttons, you can remap the buttons on a game-by-game basis. So you can go into these games and reconfigure how some of the buttons do function. So you can do that. Oh no. Woo, I'm a little rusty. I'm a little rusty here. Gotcha. Oh, it's two of them. Got them both. All right, so that's enough for now. So look, you got a good chance to see me playing on this. Look, I'm not the best player in the world, but I could put it down a little bit. But the one thing I will say is that this controller is one of the best out right now, especially for iOS. Now, they don't make an Android version yet, but they will be releasing one, I believe, in November of this year. And so that will be coming with a USB-C connector instead of the Lightning connector, obviously. And also, it's not going to be compatible with all Android phones. They say most, but I think they're just talking about here in the US because they mostly list Samsung phones and also Google phones. So yeah, I mean, Backbone is really hard to beat when it comes to iOS gaming controllers with the fit and feel and the software. And for 99 bucks, I think it's priced really well for what you're getting with this. And so really the only two revisions to this controller that I would like to see in the next version, whether they call it the Backbone 2 or whatever, is maybe some kind of like paddle buttons or different buttons here on the back that you can customize to give you more control in games. But outside of that, there's not a lot of bad with this controller. There's a lot of great with it, and I can definitely recommend it. So 99 bucks for this Backbone 1 controller. I'll leave some links down below in the description of this video, but I do want to thank you for watching. Leave a comment down below and let me know what you think about this controller. And also make sure you hit that like button and that subscribe button and notification bell. But like always, I do want to thank you for watching this video, and I will catch you later. Peace.